Heart, soul, and rock and roll. Bleed near. Will McBride, part of the Will McBride Group, joining us all the way from Raleigh, North Carolina this morning. Will, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Now, Will, how long ago were you on the Bleeding Ear?
I want to think it was about almost 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And here's why, because we had an album that had come out in 2023, and so I was kind of pushing that at the time.
Okay, and you are an engineer by day.
Yes.
And then you find the time to do the rock and roll thing after hours, I'm assuming.
Yes, I like to think I became an engineer to support my habit. My habit is music.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we were just talking off air. I used to live in Durham. I did some high school time in Durham. And then as a matter of fact, I was there when there was a radio station up in Raleigh called WQDR, which was one of the first Superstars rock stations in America. And
I remember.
I happened to be there at that time. And then you tell me now that it's no longer a rock station and that WQDR stands for something else.
Yeah, so they changed over to country, and so the running joke is WQDR means W quit doing rock.
Quit doing rock. I love that. That's funny. The other station I used to listen to, and I don't think that's there anymore either, it was one of the Duke college radio stations, and it was called WDBS. I think they've changed the call letters of that station.
Yeah, they changed the call letters.
But that was a great station, you know. Typical college radio station, like, you know, a couple that we have here in the Atlanta area where they play, you know, a lot of the up-and-coming artists, a lot of the artists that typically don't get radio airplay. So really enjoyed that station as well.
Yeah, we need those kind of radio stations.
Yeah, we do. We do. Let's talk about you, though. How have things gone over the last 3 years for you?
Well, I mean, we've done... You know, I push the band to try to do original stuff. That's really what I want to do, is because I'm a writer and composer and that sort of thing. And the last 3 years, we've done another. We did that record. We've done. Well, I'm going to steal my own thunder. We've got a new one coming out, a new EP coming out with. It's only 2 songs, but I've got that coming out. And my focus was really to kind of do some work with some larger artists, play larger venues. You know, it's really difficult now to do what I'm doing at the level that all the catalog artists that I admire did it 25, 30 years ago. It's really difficult. You know, the music scene has moved on, but those guys are still touring and they still draw nice crowds and play in nice rooms. And so my strategy, right, wrong, or indifferent, was to try to hook up with as many of those guys as possible and play some shows with them. And, you know, to get my music in front of all those people who come to the venue specifically to hear music. They don't come to look over your shoulder at 15 televisions on the wall behind you and stuff like that, you know. So that's what I've been doing.
Who are some of the bands you've had a chance to play with?
Well, it started really in 2011. I got a break after we had just recorded our 2009 Trifecta CD, and I got an opportunity to open for Styx in a big amphitheater here in the Raleigh area, which was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And since then, our biggest gig to date was actually in Durham at the Durham Performing Arts Center, opening for ZZ Top.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, Aaron Neville and Delbert McClinton and Eddie Money and Leon Russell. That was a great one. And Little River Band and a band you probably know, Mother's Finest.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
They're basically my childhood hero.
You know, when you get a chance to play with those bands, how embracive are they of you? I mean, do you get a chance to meet them and associate with them and have a good time with them, have conversation with them?
That's such a great question, and it's a question I get a lot. And the answer is generally no, but we've had opportunities where it worked out. Like Styx, for example, the first one, Styx greeted us as we walked off stage. Tommy Shaw and Todd Zuckerman both greeted us as we walked off stage.
Oh.
And they complimented our set, and they wanted to have pictures and stuff. You know, they're about to go on. And I was like, God, this is how it is. They embrace us. Well, I learned quickly after that they really kind of don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Top, I did not meet them at all. I passed them in the hall as they were taking the stage. Aaron Neville had a bodyguard.
Wow.
And didn't talk to anybody. Now, Aaron Neville didn't need a bodyguard. You know, you've seen him. He's a monster.
Yep.
And, Eddie Money walked right by us, didn't even look at us, So, there's that. But I will tell you, Little River Band, for example, they really did kind of reach out to us and, again, greeted us backstage and chatted and that sort of thing. And, of course, Mother's Finest, I mean, I've known Gary Moore, Moses Mo, since before he joined Mother's Finest. I've known him all these years, and he's a great guy. And he embraced, the having us come and, open for them. So that was a lot of fun. So it kind of depends, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned Tommy Shaw. We had him on the old 96 Rock back in the day. Tommy came in first thing in the morning, sitting right in front of me at 7:30 in the morning, playing live in the studio. Didn't have to do that, but just that kind of guy. You make a good point. Moses
was that kind of guy.
Moses Mo took the time to drive all the way out here to Winder to be on the Bleeding Ear.
Really? That's great.
There again, just that kind of guy. Some of the good people. Kevin Kinney from Driving and Crying. Same thing. Came all the way out to Winder just to be on the show. You appreciate people like that,
I do. Yeah. And after meeting several of them or, playing with them, you recognize that it takes all kinds, just like life,
Yeah.
Some people are opening and embracing and giving, and others are more subdued and reserved and don't want to do that, So
hey, let me ask you this. You said you're an engineer by day. Is it difficult to couple that with doing the music thing, whether it's the studio thing or having the chance to get out and play live?
I don't think so. For me, it's not really been a conflict. There's a lot of things about engineering. There are a lot of human traits about being an engineer that work really well with musicians as far as doing the whole band thing. I mean, I'm pretty organized and methodical, and I take on large, complex tasks. Well, running a band is a large, complex task. Mm-hmm. In addition to having to write and perform and sing and memorize everything, you got to handle the money, you got to book, you got to promote, you got to do all this stuff. And a lot of musicians don't want to do that. So I think the way I'm built, the way I am, being an engineer kind of helps me in that way.
Yeah.
It allows me to be able to cover all that stuff. And I love doing all that stuff. It's a lot of work, but I love doing it.
What kind of an engineer are you?
I'm an electrical engineer.
Electrical engineer. Okay.
So by day, I design manufacturing test equipment for electronic assemblies.
Okay. Excellent. And then the song that we're about to play, this is part of the upcoming EP, I assume.
Yes, it is.
Tell me about the song. It's called Suburban Grass Farmer. Now, I can only imagine what this song is about.
So let me. I think it's probably best to give you a little brief feel of how I got to this point. In the beginning when I started writing music, I started, doing a lot of stuff like most songwriters of things that I personally experienced, things that I know about and that sort of thing. But especially right before COVID, I began to change to look at things outside and make, I'll call them social commentaries, if you will, mm-hmm. about life around me. And you got to be careful when you get out there. You touching subjects that some people are very sensitive about, and that sort of thing. Well, I try to make a non-biased just observation. It's just that's how I work. And so this one, and I like to put in some sarcasm, some humor. That's just kind of the way I am. And this song embodies all that stuff. It's a lighthearted look at that guy that most people that live in suburbia know. There's a guy in your neighborhood that is out there cutting his grass with scissors and making it meticulously perfect all the time. And so it's kind of a lighthearted look at that.
Ah, I see. See, I misread the title completely. I thought it had something to do with weed. Suburban Grass Farmer.
I get it now.
Okay. All right. Hey,
that's really the riff. You put it out there, and you don't know how people are going to interpret stuff.
There you go. Will McBride joining us this morning. Will, it's been 3 years. You don't have to wait quite as long to be on the next time.
I will do my best to not make that happen again that way.
All right, everybody. This is Will McBride. Thank you, Will. We appreciate it very much. The song is called Suburban Grass Farmer. That's Will McBride. The song is called Suburban Grass Farmers. Somebody calling. Hang on.